Hello, everyone, and welcome to the daily morning podcast of SBI Securities. So, friends, let's discuss how the markets closed on Tuesday. Sensex closed marginally lower by 33.5 points to settle at 76,456.6. Nifty closed higher by 6 points to settle at 23,264.85. Nifty Midcap 100 and Small Cap 100 advanced by 0.81% and 0.55% respectively. Moving on to the top 5 gainers and losers on Nifty. So the top 5 gainers were ONGC, Tata Motors, Adani Ports, L&T and Maruti. Whereas the top 5 losers were Kotak Bank, Divi's Laboratory, ITC, Reliance and Sun Pharma. Moving on to the BSE sector-wise advance and decline. So BSE Telecommunication, Oil and Gas, Capital Goods, Realty, Auto, Power, Services advanced from the range of 0.17% to 1.93%, with BSE Telecommunication being the highest gainer with 1.93% and BSE Services being the lowest gainer with 0.17%. Whereas BSE Metal, Healthcare, Bankex and FMCG declined from the range of 0.09% to 0.27%. Moving on to the market breadth, around 2,461 stocks advanced, whereas 1,402 stocks declined. Talking about the 52-week high, so around 162 stocks scaled new 52-week high. Some of them were Cipla, Divi's Laboratory, Exide India, HCC, KEI Industries, Keynes Technology, etc. And around 13 stocks scaled new 52-week low. Moving on to the fund flow, where FII net sold rupees 111.04 crores, whereas DII net bought to the tune of rupees 3,193.3 crores. Talking about the global cues looked muted. The US market ended at near record highs as Nasdaq and S&P registered 0.9% and 0.3% gains, and Dow declined 0.3%. All eyes will be on the US CPI data to be released in the evening today and Fed meeting outcome tonight. The Asian markets are currently trading mixed, and hence we expect a flat to negative opening for our market today. Now, moving on to the stocks which are likely to be in focus today. So the first one is HCL Technologies. The company has signed a $278 million deal with Germany's largest cooperative primary bank, APO Bank, for 7.5 years. So positive for HCL Tech. TCS, the company has launched a new IoT engineering lab in Ohio for manufacturing, energy and consumer solutions. So overall neutral to positive. BL Kashyap and Sons, the company secured 2 new orders aggregating to rupees 1,021 crore approx. These include a construction order worth rupees 924 crore from DLF City and a civil construction order worth rupees 97 crore from Satwa Homes. The total order book as of date stands at rupees 3,545 crores. So overall positive. Cipla, Patna Tax Office rules against the company on input tax credit. The company is to appeal to a higher authority on the input tax credit ruling. So overall neutral to negative. Dollar Industries, the company recorded the highest ever revenue in FY24 to open 50 exclusive brand outlets across South India by 2027. It aims for 50% sales growth in South India in 2025. So overall positive for Dollar Industries. NHPC, the National High Power Test Laboratory, approved the transfer of 1 crore shares from the company to Power Grid Corp. The company's stake in NHPTL now stands at 12.5%, up from 20% earlier. NHPTL ceased to be an associate company of the company, so overall neutral for NHPC. TVS Supply Chain Solution, the company has received a 5-year contract with Daimler Truck AG for integrated supply chain solution services in Singapore. So positive for TVS Supply Chain. LTI Mindtree, the company has announced the inauguration of its regional headquarters in Saudi Arabia's capital Riyadh as a part of the expansion in KSA in the Middle East. So positive. Patanjali Food, the company has clarified that the board has evaluated the initial proposal by Patanjali Ayurved for the sale of non-food business on April 26. The committee, comprising an independent director, CEO and CFO, is in the process of evaluating the proposal. So overall neutral. Wipro, the company has introduced Lab 45 AI platform designed to increase efficiencies and transform business function. So overall neutral to positive for Wipro. Tube Investment of India Limited, the company and its subsidiary TI Clean Mobility have entered into a definitive agreement with GEF for an additional subscription towards compulsory convertible preference shares amounting to rupees 160 crores in TI Clean Mobility. So overall neutral to positive for Tube Investment. Moving on to the block deals, where we have Inox Wind Energy, Anjana Projects sold 0.4 lakh shares at rupees 7,169 per share, and Indian Opportunities Growth Fund Pinewood Strategy bought 0.4 lakh shares at rupees 7,169 per share. Bull deals. So first we have is Interglobe Aviation. Interglobe Enterprises sold 77.19 lakh shares at rupees 4,362 per share, and Citigroup Global Markets Mauritius bought 31.23 lakh shares at rupees 4,361 per share. Action Construction Equipment, Mona Agarwal sold 13 lakh shares at rupees 1,420.44 per share. Next we have is Honasa Consumer, where Fireside Ventures Investment Fund 1 sold 32,42,441 shares at rupees 436 per share, while Sofina Ventures SAS sold 32,42,442 shares at rupees 435 per share. IRB Infra Developers, Sintra INR Investments BV sold 9.05 crore shares at rupees 64.02 per share, while Sintra INR Investment BV sold 21.13 crore shares at rupees 63.43 per share. War Wizard Innovations and Mobility, War Wizard Solution in India sold 42.12 lakh shares at rupees 72.51 per share. TCNS Clothing, TAFDI investors sold 12 lakh shares at rupees 550.14 per share, while Rajasthan Global Securities bought 3.22 lakh shares at rupees 550.05 per share. Moving on to the insider trades. So first one we have is Emphasis. Promoter BCP Topco 9 sold 2.85 crore shares on June 10. Second, Lancer Container Lines, promoter Abdul Khalik Abdul Qadar Chaitwala bought 1.16 lakh shares on June 10th. Next, we have is Advanced Enzyme Technologies, where promoter Advanced Vital Enzymes Private Limited sold 55,009 shares on June 7th. Moving on to pledge share details, where first one we have is Sterling and Wilson Renewable Energy, where promoter Kainas Khushe Daruwala created a pledge for 2.8 lakh shares on June 7th. Good Luck India, promoter Anju Garg created a pledge of 1 lakh shares. Promoter Harsh Garg created a pledge of 68,000 shares. Promoter Mithilesh Garg created a pledge of 80,000 shares. Promoter Ram Agarwal created a pledge for 80,000 shares. Promoter Rekha Rani created a pledge for 1 lakh shares, and promoter Sham Agarwal created a pledge for 80,000 shares on June 10th. And moving on to the trading tweets, where we have X record dividend for Tata Chemicals. So yeah, that was all from the Fundamental Daily Morning Podcast of SBI Securities. Thank you for listening.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.